Hi, welcome to Math 213 IN1 at SWIC for the spring 2023 semester. My name is Jennifer Simonton and I will be your instructor for this course. I just wanted to take a few minutes to walk you through the syllabus, how to get registered in MyMathLab, and all the other important information that you need to do to get started off on the right foot. So if you're watching this video, that means that you either have seen the email announcement that I sent out with it linked, or you have logged into Blackboard and found it under the announcement there. So if you have not yet logged into Blackboard, that's the first thing you're going to need to do. All right, so I'm going to switch views here so you can kind of see what that's going to look like. All right, when you log into Blackboard, this is the screen you're going to find. So we're going to start over here with you're in the announcements tab right now. This is where I'll post all weekly announcements and reminders about what needs to be done. I'm going to click on this next tab here that says syllabus, and under here you're going to find two documents. One of them is the syllabus that we're going to go through in just a second, but the other one is the instructions on how to get registered in MyMathLab so you can do your homework. So we're going to start with that one first. Okay, so if you click on that, this is what will pull up. Okay, and these are the instructions. All right, so you're signed into Blackboard, clicked on your math course, Math 213 IN1. And once you do that, the first thing that needs to happen is over here on the left side, you're going to click on this button here that says access code. All right, so when you click on that, it will bring you here. All right, you may have more than one course that's using Pearson, but you need to locate the materials for the Calculus for Business and Social Sciences. Right, and when you find that, you're going to click on this Reveal Access Code button. I'm not going to click it because I'm not a student, so I don't have an access code. But when you click on that, you're going to get this big long list of letters and numbers that look like they mean nothing, but you're going to need to copy that. Either copy, click with your mouse to copy, or write it down. Okay. All right. Once you have done that, you're going to need to go back to your course screen. All right, and then you're going to click on this. It explains all this in the instructions here. We were just here. We clicked on that. We revealed our code. Return to your page. You're going to click on MyMathLab right here. And then this screen's going to pop up and you're going to click on Pearson. Okay? And then you will follow the instructions from there. All right? All the instructions are listed on that handout. So walk through that and figure out how to get signed up. All right, I can't do that right now because I'm already signed up as an instructor, so I'm not going to see the same things that you will if I click here. But that handout that we had pulled up will walk you through how to do the rest of that process. But that's the first thing that needs to happen. Okay? All right, so that's step one. Okay? Once you do that, you're going to come back to this screen here, and I'm going to go through your syllabus. I'm going to get out of this student preview mode so I can show you some things that I can't access from that mode. All right, but once you are back to your syllabus tab here, okay, here's the course syllabus. All right, so I'm going to click on that. All right, so you've already gotten registered in MyMathLab with those instructions. All right, so course syllabus at the very beginning gives you all the general information about the course, my name, semester hours. This class is a 4-credit class. We are online. Here's my email address. That's how the best way to get in contact with me if you have to ask questions or need to communicate with me. If you need to come see me during my office hours, they are 9 o'clock a.m. every day of the week. I know that's not a convenient time for a lot of people, so just send me an email if you need to set up a different time and we can work that out. No problem at all. My office is in the main complex on the Belleville campus in room 2047, or we can set up a meeting via Teams if that is more convenient. Okay. Email is the best way to reach me quickly. Okay, I will try to get back to you as soon as possible, within 24 hours for sure, but usually way faster than that. All right. Also, you should be checking your SWIC email several times a week. I'm going to send out a weekly reminder every single week to tell you what you need to be doing and what assignments are due, and just to make sure everybody is understanding things okay. So if you're not checking your email, I'll send that out through a Blackboard announcement as well, but it will also come to your SWIC email account. All right, just a reminder that proctored testing is a requirement for all of our math classes here at SWIC, so you will need to plan to come to campus to take your tests in the final at our testing center, or to set up a remote appointment through them. And we'll talk more about that on pages 2 and 3 of this syllabus a little bit later. All right, so the course description, prerequisites, and objectives you may read on your own. Those are just a detailed list of all the topics that this class covers. All right, so that brings us down here to where it says textbook and materials. All right, so you're required to sign up for MyMathLab. That includes all the course materials using the code provided in Blackboard. You do not need to purchase anything. You follow the instructions on that other handout we looked at a minute ago, and that will get you signed up. All right, if you would like to have a physical copy of the book, it is not required, but if you would like one, this is the book we're using. The MyMathLab Access that you already have access to contains the ebook, so the textbook is included in that, so there's really not a need to buy the book unless you just want to have one that's not electronic. Also, you'll need to have a TI-84 or some TI-83 is fine, the Inspire is fine, some kind of graphing calculator is recommended. Okay, you'll probably be okay without one for a lot of things, but there are some things where it's going to be helpful. All right, grading procedure. Like I said before, all your homework is going to be done in MyMathLab, all graded assignments. Okay, tests, including the final, are taken at the testing center. We have a location at Belleville, also at Granite City. All other assignments, homework and test reviews, and the videos you're going to watch, all that stuff you're going to do on your own time. This class is online, but it's not self-paced. There are due dates for things, and there's a penalty for not completing assignments by the due date. Excuse me. Tests must be completed by the due date without exception. You cannot make up a test. All that's outlined on the last page of the syllabus. We'll get to that a little bit in just a second. Here is the breakdown of how your grade is calculated. The homework in MyMathLab is worth 10% of your grade. There's a test review before each test and one before the final that are your study guides. Every test question and final exam question is taken from those assignments pretty much. Those are worth 5% of your grade to complete them. The tests themselves, or the regular tests, there are 3 of them. They're 100 points apiece. That's 60% of your grade. And then your final exam is worth 25% of your grade. And grades are calculated on the standard 10-point grading scale. All right, to be able to navigate this course, you have to be able to log into Blackboard, and then you'll get to MyMathLab from there. All right, step 1, before you begin homework, you are strongly encouraged to open, view, and take notes on the lecture videos that are posted in the course content tab in the lecture videos folder. Please do not skip that step. That is like going to class. That's how you're going to watch the videos, take notes, get the information you need to learn to do the homework problems. Okay, you have to find time to fit that into your schedule. My written out, well, they're not actually handwritten, they're PowerPoints, but the things that you see me talk about in the video, those actual documents are posted in the lecture notes folder. So if you want to just have that on hand rather than copying everything down, maybe just print those out and just kind of make your own additional notes on there. It might go a little bit faster if you can find those in the lecture notes folder. Let me show you real quick where both of those are at. So over here on this side, under this course content tab right here, lecture videos, and then they're broken down, they're organized by tests. So all the videos that we use that you'll need to know or watch for the first test are contained in this folder. So if you click on the folder, and then they're listed by section. So this will, if you click on it, it'll take you out to a YouTube video watching me explain all of the content and all of the things that are in my lecture notes for section R2. And then R4, R6, chapter 1, etc. Okay, if you come back to here, if you click on the lecture notes folder instead, again, for all test 1, so that section that we just saw, that first video that was titled R2, that video goes through the notes for R2, right? So here you'll see these things, these slides on the screen as I'm explaining these problems, but here are all of that is here, so you can kind of follow along and not have to copy every single thing down. Okay, so these are just PDF documents of that PowerPoint, and then you watch it in the video. Okay, and you hear the explanations there. All right, so that's under course content. All right, let's go back to the syllabus and pick up here where we were. All right, so that is from Blackboard. Okay, so Lecture notes and lecture videos are in course content. All right, homework. To do the homework that is graded, you're going to have to get into MyMathLab. They're assigned for every section that we cover. Homework is a learning tool. You'll have unlimited attempts to get a problem correct. Pay attention to due dates. You may work on homework late, but there is a penalty for doing so. Okay, homework can be found, all assignments, homework, test reviews, tests, etc., which we'll come back to explain those in a minute. Once you follow the instructions on that initial handout we looked at that gets you signed up in MyMathLab to do the homework, you'll come back to Blackboard. Once you log in and click on this class, you'll click on the MyMathLab tab over here on the left. And then once you click there, you're going to click on this Pearson link. All right, then here you're going to open Pearson. And you're probably not going to see instructor tools because you're not an instructor, but you'll see these student links, and you can click on MyLab Math All Assignments, and there they are. Okay, all right, so here's homework for R2. All right, all the way down here, here's your test 1 review. There's test 1. Tests are set up a little different. You don't have help buttons and unlimited attempts, but all the assignments are listed here, and the due dates are listed here on the left side. All right, so if I click on just for R2, for example, you'll come to this screen where you'll see that there are 12 questions, and notice it says you're going to be deducted 15% if you do for any questions done after the due date. Homework remains open till like the last week of class sometime. There's a date stated in the syllabus for when that closes, but you can go back and do any homework late up until that point, but you'll get 15% deducted if it's not completed by the initial due date. So don't ask me for an extension on homework, okay? Your extension is you can still do it for partial credit, no matter what. All right. If MyMathLab happens to be down and nobody can access it for a while and it's Pearson's fault, then I'll change due dates, okay? But that's it. All right, so if I want to start this assignment, I'm going to click on question number 1. All right, and most questions give you a few tries. If they're like a yes or a no, or let's say just choose and there's only 2 choices, you only get 1 attempt. But most of the time you get at least 3 tries before you can try a similar problem. All right, so in the lecture video explains what the definition of a function is. Okay, so it was asking you, is this a function, yes or no? And it's just a yes or no click. All right, so if the domain is a set of cakes and a correspondence is each person who takes a bite, and then the range is the set of people, would that be a function? Okay, I'm just going to guess here and click no, and I'm going to check and see if it's right or wrong. All right, so that was correct. All right, so if you get it right, it'll tell you it's right, and then you just click next question. Okay, all right, next question. Is this a function? All right, over here is the illustration. 1 paired with -1, 1 paired with -9, 9 paired with -9, etc. I want to know, is that a function? I'm going to say yes on this one. Since it's a yes or no, I only get 1 try. I'm going to click check. Okay. When it's wrong, if you're on the final check, whether that is the first attempt or usually it'll give you 3 tries if you're just going to fill in a blank. If you get it wrong to where it says, sorry, I'm going to mark it wrong, if you click similar question, notice it marks question 2 wrong, but it stays on question 2 and you get to try it again, right? So I think, okay, I messed up that one up. This answer should be no. And notice once I've gotten it correct and I click next question, it changes that to a green. So you can do that as many times as you need. Okay, there's no limit on that for homework. All right, if you get stuck on something and you need help, there are some buttons down here at the bottom that you can utilize. If you click Help Me Solve This, it's going to walk you through this problem and explain it step by step, but then it's going to make you do a similar problem to get credit. This is the one most people like to use more than any other. View an example. It'll just pop up in a separate window, an example walking you through step by step of a different problem, and you can use that to help you figure out this one. And then to get more help, their options here are, this one has a video. So that's not my video that you watch in Blackboard. That's Pearson's video, just, explaining how to do it. You can read the textbook and their examples. It'll take you directly to our book. If you click Ask My Instructor, it'll send me an email with a link to this question where I can see what you're having trouble with, and then I can respond. So those are also other options. All right, so let's say I started this assignment and I have to go, so I can't finish it, so I'm going to click Save. All right, so then next time I log in, it'll show me that I've already done the first 2 questions. I can pick up where I left off. So as long as I get done by the due date, I do not have to do it all in one sitting. Okay. All right, so that's how homework works. The difference between homework and tests are, in a test situation, you're timed and you don't get to know if you're right or wrong as you go, and you don't get more than 1 try per question, just like a regular test would be. Okay. All right, so here I just want to go back to Blackboard, and clicking on those tabs will take you back to here. Okay, so you access MyMathLab by clicking on the MyMathLab link and then clicking on Pearson after you follow the directions on that handout right here that gets you signed up. Okay, you have to get signed up first. Okay, so let's go back to here. All right, so that's how homework works. Test reviews. There are 3 tests. Each of them has a homework assignment. They are set up as homework. However, there's not view an example in a test review. Okay, you'll have to go back through your old notes or click on maybe one of the other help buttons and help you figure that out, because on a test you won't have that either. All right, and you only get to click similar question 4 times. It's not unlimited. 4, however, is plenty usually for everybody to go through and get that those problems completed. Each test review is worth 5 points, and again, they have due dates. Okay, these are not open for late work. Okay, if they're not done by the due date, they're just not done, and you don't get to go back and do them late, because the due date is the same day as the test, so it doesn't help you to go do them after you've taken the test. All right, tests. There are 3 of them. Each is worth 100 points. They are taken at the testing center. You have to make an appointment before you can take a test, and you have to, when you show up, you have to have a photo ID. It doesn't have to be a SWIC ID, it just has to be an ID with your photo. It can be a driver's license or whatever. All right, over here on the left side where it says testing center information, if you click on that, that will walk you through, or it will give you links to their hours and locations, their guidelines of what the rules are, and then this is a link that you can use to set up an online appointment. Okay, if you wanted to say, I want to schedule an appointment for Friday morning at 9 o'clock or whatever, you can do all that through that link. Okay, so that's where you can find out information about how to schedule your test appointments and to get your test done. Okay, also while we're talking about this site over here, Success Center link, we have a free tutoring center on campus, and this is information about what they have to offer, where they're located, and what their hours are, and then just a few other documents that might be relevant to that. Okay, and then here's their online tutoring link if you want to utilize their online tutoring services. All right, so let's go back to our syllabus. Okay, so testing. Right, when you get to the testing center, you'll log into MyMathLab, just like we talked about here. Get into Blackboard, click on it, find your test. A proctor will have to come and enter a password for you. Okay, that's why you can't take them at home. You have to be proctored. Tell them which test you're taking, if it's test 1, 2, or 3 or the final, so they know which password they need to be typing in. And then once you start, you're on a timer for 75 minutes, and then you click submit. Okay, you can use a calculator. It just has to be one without a computer algebra system. That's what a CAS is. So a TI-89 is not allowed. The TI-Nspire with a CAS version is not allowed. And you're not allowed to use any calculator on your cell phone or your cell phone at all. Okay, but any other, like a TI-84, TI-83, scientific calculator, all those are fine. Final exam review, just like a regular test review, it's just longer because it covers more material and it's worth more points because of that. And then the final exam, just like a test, but it's a longer version. All right, that is the last day to take your final is the end of the end of finals week is in the middle of a week. It's May 17th. All right, for some questions, a lot of questions, I know we didn't see it on that first section because it was pretty simple, but you'll be typing in the answer in a blank. Okay, so the answer is 7, or the answer is 3x minus 4, whatever. All right, so it's either right or wrong. Okay, so that MyMathLab will either say it's right or wrong. Okay, unless there's multiple parts, A, B, C, D, etc., they're not going to give you any partial credit. Okay, so on a test, okay, in homework, you just have to go back and redo it till you get it right, because you can do it as many times as you want. But on a test, you'll, if you're writing it down your problems on scratch paper, if you do so in an organized fashion where I can find them easily, they don't have to be in order, but they need to be numbered, right, and legible. Okay, I will get that scratch paper back from the testing center, and I review every question on every test for every person and give partial credit where applicable. So for example, if you're doing a problem that's worth 6 points and the answer is 8 and you got 10, it'll say you got 0 out of 8, right? Or 0 out of 6, right? No points. But if I can see that you showed a process and you just made a mistake somewhere along the way, maybe a very minor mistake, I can give you, 5 of 6 points or 3 of 6 points, or I can give you some partial credit for that. Sometimes I can even give you full credit. Okay, so format is important in MyMathLab. So like, for example, if the answer happened to be 8 and you typed x equals 8, they're going to mark that wrong because they're not looking for the x and the equal sign. But I can see that it's correct and I can give you partial credit, or I can give you full credit in that situation. So showing your work on scratch paper and turning that in for a test is extremely important. Your grade will benefit a lot from that. All right. Late work and makeup work. Okay, for homework, does not include your test reviews. You can complete the assignment late for a 15% deduction in your grade. All right, the deadline to submit late homework is Sunday, May 14th. So any assignment for the whole semester can be worked on up until Sunday, May 14th. But if it's not done by its initial due date, you only get 85% credit. So a 15% deduction for anything done after that due date. Okay, there are no makeup privileges for tests or the final. Okay, at the end of the semester, if you miss one test, you replace it with your score on the final. So if you got a 0 on test 1 because you didn't get it done on time, then whatever you get on the final goes in place of that 0. If you miss more than one test, any additional missed tests after that first one are you just have to get a 0. That's it. Okay, so do not miss tests. Plan ahead and make your appointment and make sure that you're keeping track of that. All right, most of this other stuff is pretty self-explanatory. The competencies, that's just the core competencies that we address in this course. The withdraw policy, in terms, we don't have attendance really. I'm just basically checking to see if you're keeping up on your weekly assignments and you're logging in and communicating with me on a somewhat of a regular basis. However, if you are not active in the course prior to the 10th day roster, or you do not communicate with me at all, or do not log into Blackboard and or MyMathLab over a period of 7 consecutive days prior to April 6th, you could be withdrawn for lack of participation. So just make sure you're logging in at least once a week and doing your assignments. After April 6th, I cannot withdraw anybody. Okay. Technically, the deadline is April 7th, but we're closed that day for the Easter weekend. So if you're planning on dropping and it is April the 7th, you can't do so on campus. You have to do it online because we're closed. So I will not submit any withdrawals after April 6th. Before that, I might submit a withdrawal if I have tried to contact you and I haven't heard from you for a long time, or you're just not doing any work for more than the 7-day period. Okay. Most of this other stuff is pretty self-explanatory. These links take you out to our SWIC website and give you more information just on like disability and access rules and requirements, if we're going to close due to weather, that sort of thing. So I would encourage you to click on those and read those policies. And then when you get to this last page here, this is sort of the assignment calendar condensed into one document. All right, so it goes week by week. We start on a Saturday. Our weeks always end on Friday. So all these due dates, for the most part, until this last week of class where we have ending in the middle of the week, things are always due on a Friday for the most part. All right, so first week, chapter R, the review chapter, section 2, 4, 6, and the first section of chapter 1 are due by Friday the 20th. Next few sections are due by the next Friday, etc. Okay, week 5 is our first test, due by the 17th. Okay, do not wait until Friday to do your work. These are just deadlines. Okay, you're expected to be working throughout the week, and you are encouraged to work ahead. All right, so after you go through and get signed up in MyMathLab, if you want to knock out the first 3 weeks of homework today, fine, no problem, do it. If you want to take test 1 next week, fine, do it. Okay, you can work early. You can take you do any assignment or take any test before the date listed as the due date. Okay, but after that due date, it is unavailable. Okay, in terms of a test and a test review. Homework will be available after that due date, but you'll be deducted 15% of whatever grade you get. So if you get 100% on that homework assignment, but you didn't do it till Saturday, you only get 85%. Okay. All right. These due dates are also listed in MyMathLab. These due dates over here for each of these assignments, but now you have them in two places just to keep track a little bit better. All right, when you get down here to the end, our spring kind of is weird in terms of it doesn't always end at a normal week. Wednesday, May 10th is the last day of in-person classes, so that's technically our week 16. We end midweek, so those assignments are due by Wednesday, not Friday. All right, then the final exam review, that will be due on Sunday, May 14th. That's also the last day to get any partial credit for late homework, so all homework after Sunday, May 14th, unavailable. And then your final exam, if it's not done early, the last possible day to take that is Wednesday, May 17th, because that is the last day of our finals. Okay, so just some different days of the week down here, but otherwise, and our week always ends on a Friday. All right. I know I kind of went through that quickly. If you have any questions whatsoever about anything I've talked about, or if I didn't explain something well, or if it was confusing, or anything at all, please don't hesitate to send me an email and ask a question. All right. You can get started now. Everything should be open and ready to go. Also, if you go back to this announcement, the next thing, so you've watched the video, next thing to do is do your MyMathLab setup. Okay, and then I used to do introductions, having people just send me an email to introduce themselves, but with an online class, I know it's kind of a different scenario, but maybe try to get to know your classmates a little bit better. I'm going to do it by discussion board this semester. So if you click on discussions over here, and then I've already posted one under introduction, so if you click on the introduction forum, and then click create thread, you can just type in a little introduction of yourself. I've already posted mine, so if you want to read mine, it's there. If you do that before Wednesday of next week on the 18th, then I'll give you 5 extra credit points on your final exam. Okay? And again, if you have any questions for me specifically that you don't want to put into the discussion board, please don't hesitate to send me an email and ask. Okay? No questions are unaccepted, or just don't feel bad about ever having to ask. Okay? All right. I'm looking forward to a great semester, and I hope you are too.